How y'all doing, guys and girls? It's a beautiful day outside. Beautiful fall weather. As far as I know, it's fall still. Um, I pray that y'all are having a great day. Always strive to do your best no matter what you're going through in life. No matter what you're facing, there's always ways to adapt to your situation and flourish. Everything is possible with Jesus. God is amazing above all. I love it. It's when you actually sit down and realize how powerful God and Jesus are. You don't. We're all human, so we're gonna stress sometimes. We're gonna get discouraged. We're all gonna have the human tendencies, but at the end of the day, when you actually think about it, the reason that we're all created is for His greater purpose for our lives. He has a purpose for our lives, so He can use us in ways that we could never imagine. Because us as humans, we only have our minds can grow and we can think beyond what we can think too, but nowhere near like God does. We can grow our mindset and things like that, but the way God thinks is the way we think is nothing compared to what God can think. God is way greater than we could ever think. And when we have visions and about creating things or visions about anything, really, to me, that's God saying, hey, that's something to build on and look forward to, because not everybody can vision things. It's just a gift that God gives His children. I don't know if He gives everybody visions or everybody the ability to visually think and or have visions. I don't know, but me personally, I have visions all the time. It's one thing that I use as a tool for, creating things or, seeing where God wants me to be, in a particular time in my life. It just depends on things like that. But, I always use the gifts that are given to me for the good. I always use it to help people. I love helping people. I ride the golf cart, and anytime somebody needs a ride or something like that, I try to give them a ride. I always try to give back in ways like that, because it's not always about money when you try to give back to someone. It could be a ride, it could be prayer, it could be motivational speech, whatever the case. Giving back to someone doesn't necessarily have to involve money. And I just pray that everybody knows that money is a tool. Money itself is not the objective. The only reason somebody would want money is to be able to be a tool for God's will and use it for the greater good. Use it to help people, use it to feed homeless people, stuff like that. That's just me. That's how I've always been. Money will never change the person that I am. Never has been. I pray that it never will. No matter how much money I've had in my pocket, whether it's $5, no matter if it's $100, I've always done my best to give back, whether that be, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to involve money. I always do my best to give back, no matter the case. So, I just pray that y'all take my channel as motivation to, get up and do what's good for you and do what God do what you know that God wants you to do. No. Because I have a physical disability, cerebral palsy. It's taught me having cerebral palsy has taught me how to overcome circumstances and make a difference from it. You know, teach people that resiliency and faith and having the will to overcome anything is what matters when you have, whether that be a physical disability, mental disability, it don't matter. Everybody has a disability in some way, you know. And, you know, it's nothing to ever be ashamed of. You know, use it as a way to help others and show others that, you know, others that have a condition that you may have, that, you know, with God, all things are possible. Our physical body is temporary. You know, we should use it for the greater good and help others make a difference. So that's how I think. I'm grateful that y'all come to see my content. Pray that y'all are doing good. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, or prayer requests, I'd be more than happy to assist. You know, me, myself, I love openly talking to God, you know, just being in prayer. To me, a prayer is about, you know, just openly speaking with Him, you know, talking to Him like you would a human being. But, you know, a more deeper conversation. And that's always one thing that I've created is deeper conversation. So I pray that y'all have an amazing one. I'll see you on the next one.